Good morning, my friends. Welcome to our New Testament challenge. Today, I'm going to be reflecting upon the second chapter of Matthew. We are talking about baby Jesus here. We know about his birth, and now this is the time immediately after that. And so we hear stories about the Magi. The three kings of Orient are. They go to Herod and ask where the king of the Jews is to be found. Herod asks around. They found out he's in Bethlehem. And so he says, why don't you go check it out and then come back and let me know? All right, but knowing Herod had some ulterior motives there, and the Magi went and worshipped the baby, and then they left another way because they were told in a dream not to go back to Herod. Now, Herod, once he found out, was upset and wanted to go, and he was the only ruler. There should be no other king. Who is this baby that is to be king? And so we hear stories of him going to Bethlehem and killing all the babies under the age of 2. All the boy babies. Now, this is not hundreds or thousands. It's a relatively small town, but, it was harsh and cruel. But again, Joseph heard in a dream he needed to leave, and so they went to Egypt and then came back after Herod was gone. And one of the neat things about Matthew that you will find throughout the gospel is that there are multiple references to Old Testament passages. And if you look back at the Old Testament, you will find multiple references to the Messiah coming. And so Matthew is very, very intentional about letting people know this is done in accordance to prophecy. This is done as the Scripture foretold. And so Matthew wants you to know that Jesus was born, Jesus became the Messiah, was the Messiah, in accordance with the Jewish Scriptures, in accordance to the Old Testament. And so we see this throughout Matthew, throughout the Gospels also, really. But Matthew is very, very focused on that and wants to make sure that we understand. Even to the point that when he came back, when Joseph and Mary and Jesus came back, they didn't go back to Bethlehem because, even though Herod was gone, they didn't want to hang around too close to whoever was in charge. And so they moved to Nazareth, moved to another town, and, we hear a reference to Scripture that the Messiah, the chosen one, would be called a Nazarene. And so even that seemingly innocuous move, even seemingly innocent move, was done in accordance with Scripture. And so obviously for Matthew, you could look back and see all these touches, the fingerprints of God. And we can do the same, even though we're 2,000 years removed from this. We can look back and we can read the Old Testament in light of the New Testament. We can read the New Testament in light of the Old Testament, and we can see how God is working in all of this, and how God worked in Mary and Joseph. God worked in Joseph's obedience and Mary's obedience, and how he used this baby, this child that was born in Bethlehem in a manger, and this child that in his first 2 or 3 years of life went from Bethlehem to Egypt and back to Israel and back into Nazareth and moved around. But God was in the midst of all of that all the time. Has some lessons for us today. Thanks a lot, my friends. We'll talk to you tomorrow.